Welcome back to another episode of The Canon. I'm your host, Terry, and today we're doing an Oscar nomination breakdown, starting right at the top with Best Picture. So first up, we got Call Me By Your Name. This was a movie that got a lot of praise. It was a festival darling. The story of a budding romance between a young teen and an older man in the Italian summer. So I think definitely Call Me By Your Name was one that I expected to be nominated. I think it deserves its spot on the list, just because it is those type of European, natural setting type movies that are shot in a way that the Academy likes. And then of course I hesitate to say importance, but the relevance, basically of the content is definitely something they like to promote, of course. So something I wasn't really shocked by. A movie that I was not that much enamored with as everybody else, but the performances alone between the two leads was just something that you usually don't see actors really go for it with that much vigor. And so I was very impressed by that, but it was definitely something I thought would be nominated. Next up, we got Darkest Hour, the Winston Churchill movie where we got Gary Oldman portraying Winston Churchill. Now, Gary Oldman is definitely one of those performances that you heard about coming into the year as potential winner, and then as we got closer, it was like, hey, he's a lock to win, and I think that's true. This is one of the best performances. Now, the movie itself, that's not exactly something I would say that I thought would be nominated. The movie was very average to above average for me, while the performance was great. I thought a lot of the movie was just whatever, and so it was very shocking to see this get a nomination. And I'm sorry, I skipped Call Me By Your Name real quick, but Call Me By Your Name, I think, has a legit chance to win. I would call it a legit chance to pull out a win here. Darkest Hour, I would say, has no real chance to win the award, and it probably shouldn't have been nominated. Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan film, which was the alternative. I always said that I wish I could watch a movie where they cut in Gary Oldman's performance into Dunkirk, and that would make a real great movie. But Dunkirk was the visual and auditorial spectacular, the movie that immersed you into it. That wasn't so much about certain characters, but more about a situation. And I thought for the technical achievements, it would definitely get nominated. There's a lot of times where the performance and the content is big on the Academy's radar, but there's definitely a majority of time they're looking for great visuals and how a movie is shot. And so something that I definitely expected to get nominated. I think it should be nominated. I don't think it has a real chance to win. I'm not going to say there's no chance, but I don't think it has a legit shot to win. But it was definitely something they wanted to nominate for its achievement. Now we get to Get Out. That's the controversial one. And I've already kind of spoke on my initial reactions, and I haven't changed my mind on this. I mean, when we talk about, are there politics in the Oscars? Are there not? Of course there. Are you serious? You hear people that are in the voting body talk about it and just their individual bias. But yes, there's definitely politics in it. There's so many times where they are looking to nominate what is the relevant social issue or what makes the statement. And it's sad that a award ceremony, especially one for movies, has become such a political statement. And I just hear the people that talk about this, and when they talk about what they want to win, it is rarely about the actual movie or the actual execution. It's always about the narrative or the relevance. I want them to give Hollywood a notice, or I want them to show people that this type of movie can win, or this would make a big statement. Why are we talking about statements and narratives? We should be just talking about what is the best movie. And so for me, Get Out is a movie that I thought was good. I wasn't a huge fan like everybody else, but I definitely thought it was good. I thought it was super creative, and I understood why a lot of people liked it. Never in a million years did I ever say it was going to be nominated for Best Picture. And on top of that, when it came out, they knew it wasn't going to get nominated. And typically, the awards do not look that far back for movies in these leading categories. And so this is definitely something that's not part of the norm. And I don't think Get Out should be nominated, and I don't think it has a real chance to win. Lady Bird, same thing. I mean, not exact same thing, but I personally, I don't get it. Now, like I said, there's some, like Call Me by Your Name. Again, that's a movie that isn't that great to me, but I definitely could see it being nominated. I understand why. Lady Bird, I don't understand. I don't understand what's so great about this movie. The performances were really good. But they weren't great. The cinematography wasn't anything special. The story was whatever. It's such a basic movie to me that I know how I feel about it, but I try to look at it in other people's eyes, and I don't see what achievement with this movie makes it a Best Picture nominee. So, I do think it has a legit chance to win just because a lot of people have expressed they liked it for whatever reason. But I don't feel like it should have been nominated. Now, Phantom Thread, the supposed last performance from Daniel Day-Lewis, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. This is a movie I saw late. I love it. This out of this list of movies, this is probably my favorite one. Now, I know that I'm not in the majority on that. I think a lot of people like it, but it's definitely not their favorite, but it's my favorite one. I love thinking about that movie. But as far as being nominated, of course, I mean, it's Daniel Day-Lewis, it's Paul Thomas Anderson, but then it's also a period piece, and there's a lot of clothes. So the visuals, the set pieces, all those things that the Oscar loves. It's in Europe too. So, I mean, you knew it was going to get nominated, and it's not like it doesn't deserve it. I think it definitely deserves. And this year, which I do think wasn't a great year. And if you're going to do 9, then I definitely think Phantom Thread falls in there. I don't think it has a real chance to win. But I definitely think it should be here. The Post. Oh, man. I don't know what it is. People are starting to turn on The Post. Like, and it's not even the movie, because the movie is like C+. I think that's somewhere where I rated it. I think it's like a C+. So it does its job. But I think people are really mad that it's such a obviously average movie, and it's getting like nominations. Because the narrative, again, is just ripe for Oscar nomination. Talking about press versus the government. And then you got Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg. And nobody thinks this movie was up to par. And it came out of nowhere. I think it said Steven Spielberg left. Not left, but he put another movie on hold to do this movie. Because it was just a message to Donald Trump. That's all it is. And so the fact that it got nominated tells you about the politics and the Oscars as much people want to deny it, because there's no way anybody sat here and said that's a Best Picture nomination. Even with that being said, I don't think it should have been nominated. I have a sneaky suspicion it has a legit chance to win. A legit chance, not a great chance, but I think it has a legit chance. A very dark horse type chance. The Shape of Water by Guillermo del Toro. A movie that I definitely think was going to get nominated. I mean, the buzz coming out of the festivals was ridiculous. And I don't think the hype changed my viewing of the movie, but the hype was this is the best movie I've ever, people were going crazy. And it was not my cup of tea for different reasons. Definitely still think it was a lot of good parts in it. I love Michael Shannon's performance. He was amazing. I do like the design of the creature and all those good things. While it wasn't my cup of tea, it was a movie that I definitely thought was going to be nominated when I left. Again, period pieces, the costumes and all that. I mean, I guess I would have to see it again. I kind of want to see it again, even though I'm not looking forward to that stupid love story. But I do want to see it again because people are talking about, the visuals of it. And that's not one of the takeaways I had when I left the movie. That's not one of my highlights. So I'm interested. I thought Sally Hawkins' performance was powerhouse. Again, Michael Shannon's performance was powerhouse. I don't know. What's his name? Richard Jenkins, I thought was powerhouse. And I'm so happy he got nominated. We'll talk about that another time. So I left with that. I didn't leave with the whole visual things and the colors and stuff that people were talking about. So I definitely want to go see it again just, to see kind of what everybody else was seeing. But it has a great chance of winning. It's definitely in the top 3. As far as could win, so I think it deserves that spot. Then we got 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. This was my favorite before I saw Phantom Thread. Again, the buzz, and it's funny. So the buzz came out after I had already saw the preview. I don't remember why, but it was in January. I was watching some indie movie and I saw the trailer for 3 Billboards. It was a red band. And I'm like, what in the world is this? And so I'm just like, okay, it's going to be another run-of-the-mill movie that comes out, soon. And then I'm going to go see it. But then I found out it doesn't come out till way later. And then I started hearing the buzz about it. I'm like, really? That movie where the lady's just cursing everybody out? That's an Oscar contender? So the hype swelled up, but I was already interested to see it. Then I went and saw it and I understood, okay, yeah, I got it. And then once you hear the story, of course, you know exactly why. So very creative, very great performances by everybody. It's funny. This is probably, looking at this list, this is probably the first. No, I saw Dunkirk, but this is one of the earlier Oscar bait type movies. And so when I left, I didn't think it was going to get nominated because I didn't know what else was coming out and how good it would be. Like I said, The Post wasn't what everybody thought. Shape of Water wasn't what I thought. Lady Bird wasn't what I thought, all the way down the line. So when I did see 3 Billboards, I said, okay, I'm not sure. But after I saw the other movies, I'm like, yeah, it definitely deserves to be nominated because there's just too many powerhouse performances in it. And I think it has a great chance of winning. Again, that top 3, definitely think it's the front runner, and Shape of Water is probably going to be the one to battle with it. So that's kind of where we are with that. So then looking at the overall list, and talking about some replacements that I think should be in here, I would definitely take not Dunkirk. I would take Darkest Hour out, and I would have Big Sick in there, and I would take, this is tough, I would take The Post out, and I would have Blade Runner 2049. Now, there's other movies I really like that I want to put in there, but I know that's my personal taste. But I think universally, Big Sick and Blade Runner 2049 deserve to be nominated for Best Picture. And those are 2 I would take out. I think Get Out is better than The Post. And if we're just matching up social messages, I think that one's better too. Darkest Hour is the clear one that should not be here. And I think The Post is a close second. So I take those 2 out. I would put The Big Sick and Blade Runner 2049. But overall, this is, again, besides Get Out, this is a list that a lot of people expected. There are some political moves in here, and there's definitely some ones I would replace. There's some snubs, but overall, this, not too much reconfiguring that we got to do. And I don't even know that there's too much drama in Shape of Water or 3 Billboards. So All right, so that's my first breakdown for Best Picture. Please be on the lookout as I break down the other major categories. But most importantly, I want to hear what you think. Go to comment section. Did you think there were some snubs that you would put in there? Or there's some movies on here that shouldn't have been nominated? Do you think Get Out was political? Uh-oh, did I ask that? Go to comment section. Let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe, share it around. And if you heard it here, it's official canon.